Hey, it's your favorite mindset coach, Marissa, and today I'm speaking as usual on this channel slash podcast to my wonderful teachers because the fact of the matter is teaching is getting incredibly harder all the time and your students are overwhelmed, but the truth is so are you. Incredibly overwhelmed, I'm sure. And yet, here you are expected to teach, manage behavior, and somehow support everyone's mental health, including your own. So that is why I got today's guest on the show, Veronica Moya, because Veronica has worked with many, many children. And today we are talking about how she goes in and helps teachers bring calm, focus, and just that emotional regulation into the classroom. And it literally takes 5 minutes and nothing added to your workload. All you have to do is go to her channel, Mindful V, on YouTube and look into one of her videos from her morning Mindful Mornings playlist. And there you go. Done for you. Of course, just in case you find yourself without Wi-Fi or a speaker one day, that can happen. Might be every day. I have got you. I created a 5-minute mindful classroom guide just for those times when you don't have any tech available. So please, please, please go into the show notes, check out Veronica's channel, check out the guide because today's conversation is powerful and practical. And if you've ever looked around your classroom and wondered how you could possibly make it calmer, this episode is for you. Let's get into it. Good morning, Veronica. I am so excited for you to be on the show today. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
Good. I am really happy to be with you. Marissa,
Yay!
you're really great. You're the best coach, really. And
I appreciate
yes,
that.
you're so good. So I am honored to be here with you, and thank you for having me.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So I want to get right into it with talking about, we're talking about the mindfulness, the mindful breathing with kids, with teachers. And I want to start off from what you've seen, because you have over 10 years experience dealing, with children. What is really going on in your opinion with kids right now? Why are we seeing so much anxiety in children at such a young age?
Yeah. So nowadays, kids are carrying adult level nervous system before they have adult level emotion tools. So I think I have. So first of all, first kids are growing up in a constant comparison environment. Like every young child absorbs the energy of performance, how they look, how they behave, how smart they are, how popular they are, whether they are behind. That's big. Second, their nervous system are overstimulated.
Yeah.
Children are exposed to too much, too early, and too often. Like fast content, adult conversations, fighting, news, constant noise, um, packed schedules, academic expectations, the digital stimulation.
Yeah.
Even saying this makes me tired. Number three, many parents are overwhelmed too.
Yeah.
And children don't just hear adults say things, they absorb the emotional climate around them, right? And we know this. The Surgeon General has also identified parental stress as a serious public health issue.
Wow.
So imagine, parents if they're stressed, the kids are going to be stressed. And then fourth, kids now have fewer natural outlets. Back in the day, I hate to say that,
I
but
know, I
in
always say it too. It's true.
previous generations, we had more unsupervised play, outdoors times,
Yeah.
boredom. We were
Yes,
bored. Remember? That was a thing. I
that
don't
was
think
a
they're bored.
thing.
because I see the kids in the restaurants there with their tablets. Like the parents don't let them just have a moment of like, you have. I remember sitting through, like, we used to go and visit my great grandmother, and it was so boring, and she only had crackers. She had like the without salt. Like she
Yeah.
didn't even have cake. I don't know why, but that's tattooed in my brain. I remember all there was to eat, it was this, like just saltines, but without the salt. Like,
Yes.
and I probably was what, 9 years old. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, a lot has changed with the technology, and even those parents who don't want to expose the kids to too much screen time, and they think they're being conscientious, with that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they are. Because as a parent, you're always, I mean, this is
I was going to say, you are also on the phone, right? You're also not being bored anymore and boredom is where your creativity like that's where a lot of your ideas come in because your mind is almost quiet and thinking, right?
Mhm. Yes. And this is what gives you the anxiety as an adult and
Yes.
gives you the perform. I mean, the FOMO is not, it didn't exist before. We didn't have that word before.
Yeah.
What is this? Even when people that you don't care about, but just seeing, I love, there's a comedian, Tom Papa. He has, if you have a chance, go look him up
I
and
will.
watch any of his stand up. He is so good, and he's so good at describing us today, life,
Okay.
the regular person. He's very good. But yeah, so all of that combined, this is the new existence. This is the new life for a young person, for a 5-year old, seven. Yeah. So of course,
Yeah, you're going to have those higher levels of anxiety. And I think, parents are like, well, what can you do? And this is where we're coming in today, right? Is the mindful breathing and the mindfulness practices. And I know you started doing that with younger children. And I'm really curious, what changes did you start to notice? Because I know when I was teaching, we didn't have anything like that, right? We didn't do any mindful breathing or anything. But I know how it's changed me. So I can only imagine how it changed the children. So what did you, yeah, I would love to hear, what did you notice when you started doing that?
so a few things, but what the teachers report and what they like is that better grades in this. Oh, because that's another thing that I didn't know about. The teachers, everybody gets judged for everything.
Yeah,
So I didn't know. They have certain tests that they do throughout the year. I don't know if it's quarterly or I don't know.
yeah.
And so they kind of have to show that the average of the class is
Yes,
D.
and progression. They have to show the kids are progressing.
So can you imagine? So the teachers are already stressed
Yeah,
about performing. It's all about what you can show. You have to show that you're doing well. They have to do well. So okay, so the biggest one that I get is that a noticeable improvement in test taking,
right.
and it all started. So when I started, I just do it for personal well-being and to give the brain a break and to help the mind focus and achieve goals and things like that, right? But so I was telling you before, I started visiting schools, and for me it's really really important to speak with the teachers and create with them and
Yeah,
get feedback. And so they would tell me what they see that they need help with, and what I got was they needed help letting go of things. Meaning, you have a kid, usually good students, and they get a B plus instead of an A plus. That is the end of the world. And the level of anxiety, because they couldn't get, ta-da, the big grade that they wanted to get, or they get a bad note, whatever, a bad grade. I don't know. I see it. We didn't get into that. She just said if something doesn't work out, if they didn't get the score that they wanted,
mhm,
expected, that
yeah,
creates tension, it creates anxiety, and they cannot move forward from that. So now they're in this mental space, and then you see them acting out in other ways, right?
Okay.
So with these exercises, and I'm telling you, I mean, this work with the classes that I work closely, and we were doing it daily. So I would visit them once a week, and then I'll give them videos so they can, or the teacher could also do their thing.
Yeah.
But they really made an effort to have 5 minutes or 3 minutes of quiet time, breathing and going within. And before they took a test, we do this as well. So I have a few resources for that specifically. So that was a big one. The test scores, the test taken that
Wow.
they have reported. And then, so I have kids with diabetes that the doctors reported that they were able to, um, how do you say, insulin level? How do you say?
Yeah, like did they reduce? Like did the
Yes,
insulin level? Is that what
yes.
it does? Like I think it's
Well,
something like that.
so that's the one that got me in the New York Times. So I should be less lazy and find it and read it, because it's in the reporter wrote about it, because they interviewed the mother and she mentioned me, and then
Oh, well, definitely we'll put that link in the show notes for sure.
yes, it looks okay. Miss Moya taught him how to relax, listen to his body, and lower his stress level. Ms. Keko said the meditation practice helped him stabilize his blood sugar level. Okay, and then say continue with
Nice.
my work. But yeah, so that was a good one, because a doctor is involved saying it improved. So
Yes,
that's,
and here's evidence that this
yes,
is
that's
that
very
it
encouraging.
works, right?
It's not it's not just some boo boo
Yes.
silly thing that we're doing. We're truly helping the body,
Yes, helping
know?
the body. That's exactly
Yeah,
what it is. And that's helping the mind, like because
right.
it's all connected, right?
Everything starts here. Everything
Exactly.
starts in the mind. We cannot disconnect. We cannot treat symptoms by themselves. I mean, we can and we do, but why not going deeper?
Absolutely. No, I am I can imagine I like the test because test anxiety is a real thing. So having these things before the test, after break, in the morning, it would just it will help the students remain calm, and I think that is so important. And that sort of leads me into my next question, which is because a lot of your videos on your channel have sort of these 5 minute or so mindfulness routines. And so I just want you to walk us through maybe a couple of examples on when you go to the teacher, what are some of the videos that you might recommend um, to the teachers? Yeah. How do they help, that sort of thing?
Sure. So yes, like I said, I did create a few videos based on my experience in the classroom. But right now, what I would recommend, I just created my newest playlist, is Mindful Mornings.
Nice.
And the goal is to keep it very simple and very short, to minimize the pushback or pullback. What is the pushback?
Yeah, the
Big
pushback. Yep.
pushback, right? Because the big excuse that I get is there's no time, well, there's no budget. That's a big one, and there's no time. So to make it easy, I made a series of videos. They're 5 minutes each, and it consists of ideally you play it in the morning before the day starts, and we start with some stretches, so just simple stretches like this. One positive affirmation. So every day is a different affirmation, something truly positive that you can, repeat throughout the day. Everything works out for me is my personal favorite,
Nice.
because it's,
I also
you
like
know,
that one.
yeah, it's just, and if things don't work out, that's okay. You don't need to, you don't need to think about things not working out. Why would you do that? Just think positive. So I'm sorry. So we do stretch, one positive affirmation, and then I do a 2-3 minute quiet time where I guide you through a relaxation exercise,
Yep.
mindfulness.
Yeah.
Uh, So it's a guided journey. And basically, it's breathing. We focus on breathing a lot and going kind of doing like a body scan
Nice.
and positive reinforcement. I mean, I invite you to just, if you go to my channel and look for Mindful Mornings, give it a shot, try one. And the way I've done it is so it is really good for the teacher as well. So the teacher is sitting there, is doing it with the kids, and this sets the tone for the day and it puts you in a nice relaxed place, and you're also grounded and you're centered. And from that place, things really flow differently.
I think also like if you include it as your routine, like looking at the time, right? So it's only 5 minutes, it doesn't take a lot of time. And if think about the time that you're sort of losing by not setting the tone with the calmness in the morning, right? Because at least then everyone's sort of in that space, everyone's feeling the same way. It'll actually save you time.
Yes, and
Because
you're
it's
setting
chaotic in the morning. So,
right, and you're as a teacher, as a group leader, you're setting the tone where, in a way, subliminally, you're telling them stress and loudness and craziness don't belong here. This is how we handle things. This is how we operate from a calm place,
yeah.
a respectful place, appreciation. So I have tons of different exercises. So exercises on kindness. And again, everything involves going within, having, so ultimately,
Yeah.
the goal is self-knowledge, self-acceptance, self-love. And when you are centered, you are grounded, and you feel good about yourself, you will make smart choices. You will be kind to others. You won't be bullying someone or mistreating them or, losing your nerve.
Yeah.
So it all starts with us. And so if you start the morning that way, you're teaching your students this is the basic. This is important. Before we learn to read and write and everything else, you have to be in a good place. You have to be centered. And especially, there's so many kids and so many schools and so many stories. In some cases, they come from some highly stressed homes,
Yes.
right? Some home lives are challenging.
Yeah. To say the
So if they
least.
come from that environment, these kids, they're problem kids, they're most likely to be aggressive. I don't know if they do this anymore, but back in my day, they used to, like, usually those were the ones always starting a fight or a
Yeah.
fist fight, usually boys, and because they have to get it out.
Get that out that their feelings, right? Because they're feeling so horrible about what's been going on at home, and they can't act it out at home because they'll probably get hit themselves. So they come to school and do it.
Right? Or just they can't, yeah, they don't know what to do with this level of anxiety and anger and fear.
Yeah.
And this is how, they'll act out, and they do, um, disruptive things. Now, if you give them the opportunity to say, welcome, good morning, this is a safe place, this is when you go back within, you fall in love with who you are. What's happening in here has nothing to do with what's happening out there. That's their story.
Yeah.
And this is you, and you are blessed, and you are smart, and you are special. And now you're setting the kid up for success. And you're informing the kid that this is going to be a nice experience. It's good to be out of the house, and school it's a good thing.
Yeah. I love that. I love thinking about it like that. And just quickly, are the mindful mornings, are they more geared towards younger students, or can like grade 6, grade 7 use them as well?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yes, I want to say it's for everybody because I always think adults can use it too. There's no, it's things I would do. I mean, stretch,
Yeah.
positive, I am smart. I mean, you're going to
Yeah,
be 40 years old. You should still be saying that to yourself. I am
definitely.
calm.
It should never stop.
Yes. And then the quick meditation, it is absolutely for everybody.
Okay.
However, since you brought that up, I do encourage everyone, please start at 5 years old. Please, if you have kids in kindergarten, please start doing these activities. By the time the kids, what I notice is when they are about 10,
Yeah.
they're already a bit cynical, and they lost the sense of magic, and they're too, yeah.
They're starting, it's too, yeah, it's not cool enough. It's like, or if one of their friends doesn't want to do it, suddenly, right, it's very
Yeah, no, they're
dependent.
like, because I come and I said, you have magic inside, you create with your mind. What? Nah, nah.
Yes.
They tell me like that. So it doesn't matter. As a teacher, my advice to the teachers is that do not listen to that. You do the activity like you do math or whatever you need to teach them, right? This is no different. This is mental hygiene. This is something that is important for them, for their soul, for their mind, for their brains. So whether they like it or not, they want to participate. They don't need to participate. They don't have to. We don't force anybody to do this activity. This is one of the things that you cannot, you cannot bully someone into calmness.
Yes, yes, exactly. And as the teacher, you can just say, you do not have to participate, but there are students in here who may want to participate. And and it is, I think if you've got older students, sometimes it's a good idea to get the science behind mindful breathing and why quieting your mind and trying to go into a quieter space is so beneficial for your health and your body and your anxiety. By teaching them what the doctors say, then they might be more accepting um to kind of working with that. And that actually that leads me to my next question was what advice do you tell the teachers of the younger students about this, and what are we doing and why are we doing it?
It's a lot easier to do this with a 5-year-old, with younger kids, than it is to do it with the older kids at first. Again, without getting too spiritual and too, I think the younger kids, they just come from being 2, 3 years, 1, 2, 3. When you're a toddler, you just came to this
Yeah.
world, and you're learning to be a person. You're learning to use your body. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of stuff that's everything is new, not a lot, everything.
Yeah.
And you're adapting to being a person. And now you're in school, you're 5 years old. And again, you're learning, they give you pen and paper, and you're using your brain. And when you tell them this is a time for you to relax, take a deep breath through the nose and exhale through the mouth. When they do it, their own bodies, it seems like it clicks, they understand, or the body understands that it needs it. Because I see these kids, the younger kids, just taking it in with a lot faster than I thought it
Yeah.
would happen. Because I was shocked when I started, and I was like, I remember I was in a classroom with 6-year-olds, and I don't know why I wasn't doing the guided meditation myself, and I was playing a recording of me doing it. It was a 6-minute thing, and I was like, well, this is not going to work. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I was shocked, Marisa. I was shocked to see them. They got into it. They did the whole thing, and then it finished. Like, how did it go? And yes, it went great. And so I was like, oh, okay. And then, so I visited, I don't know, hundreds of classrooms. So I can tell you, if they're younger, we need to explain less and get into the exercise and let them experience it. And there's some things that you don't need. This is like love, right? When
That
you
makes
love
sense.
someone and you just feel it, you feel the emotions, you don't need to explain. But you're right about the older kids, 9, 10, you do want to explain how imperative, how important this is for their success in life, because that's what it is. It is mind training. So you have the brain training, how you learn from books, and then you have the wisdom that comes from within. What's wisdom? Because I teach the word wisdom when they're 5 and they
Yeah.
don't know what it is. So I explain that's intelligence that you don't learn from books. It's not outside, it's inside of you. When you quiet your mind, when you breathe, you're able to access that and make good decisions. Um, you know,
Yeah.
and then so for the older kids, you explain this is the difference between the gold medalist and the bronze medalist. The gold medalist, I promise you, nobody trained more than the other. Nobody. Everybody trains the same amount of hours. I promise you. But the mindset. I don't know if you're familiar with Messi. He's a soccer player, very famous
Oh,
Argentinian
yes,
soccer.
yes. Very familiar.
All right. So he's very good. He's always been very good. Nobody can say he wasn't a
Definitely
superstar,
not. No.
but he could not win the World Cup. We did one World Cup, didn't win, and he was horrible. Argentinians hated him. We're very critical. We're mean people. Uh, Second World Cup, same tank. It wasn't until Maradona passed away, after Maradona died, what a coincidence. It wasn't a coincidence. Then Messi was able to win the World Cup. In his mind, and he talked about it, and he had to practice mindfulness and my, I don't know what they call it, but it's some sports psychology or I
Yeah,
don't know.
they visualize as well. They feel themselves winning, and they see themselves like they
Right.
experience it in their mind. Yeah.
Like he has the best of the best, right? He has the best trainers, the best. He couldn't do it while his idol and his mentor was alive because he didn't want to surpass him
Right.
subconsciously, obviously.
Right.
So it was all in the mind. He didn't play better 8 years later. No way.
Yeah.
It's not like he improved the
Yeah, no
game.
way.
Right. He improved the mind. And then he won, which just won, the last World Cup. So that's a good example. There's so many,
There
it's
are so
really,
many.
yeah,
Because
it's
if your
easy.
mind is like overtaken with anxiety and worry and stress, you can't create, you can't focus in the direction of where you want to go with your life and what you want to accomplish and what you want to do, because the mind is so um there's just so much in there, and you need to that's why quieting the mind really is so critical.
Yes.
And
Healthy.
exactly. And I want to ask you as well, because teachers are very overwhelmed. Have you ever experienced, have any teachers, because I'm like, the teachers better be doing this too. Have any teachers ever tried it and then actually said to you, oh my gosh, like I actually noticed a difference, or I'm so glad I've also tried it, because teachers are overwhelmed, and often I feel as teachers we let the kids do it while we're like typing an email or something.
No, no. So when I go to the classrooms, they do it.
Okay.
They get it. They're the first ones to get into it, and thank God. And this is
Yeah.
why it works. Yes. So I do teacher training, and a few times I'm hired by the school. So I show up, and there's a classroom with like 20 teachers. My experience that usually 20% of the people in the class will not be into it.
Okay.
And by not being into it, I mean they don't want to participate in the exercises, which
Right.
is interesting, but that's another subject for another day.
Yeah.
Uh, it is sad, and if the teacher doesn't see the benefits, if the teacher cannot do it, they will not implement it. They will not encourage the kids to do it.
100%.
It is imperative. It's really important that the teacher has the experience and sees how healthy, healing, and calming it is for them. And then if they do that, when they do that, they know, they understand the importance. That's why I call it mental hygiene. That's why I I compare it with brushing your teeth.
Right.
Because, we do that every day. You brush your teeth every day, no question about it. You brush. And this should be the same. Just 5 minutes a day of sitting quietly, breathing, and sending yourself some love. That's it. It's not that hard. It shouldn't be that
Absolutely.
hard.
I mean,
But
I can only speak from my perspective as someone who started this, I think, right, like maybe just a couple years before, like maybe 2018. It has radically changed my life. Like the way I taught was so different. I stayed so much calmer. I was able to breathe, like self-regulate so easily. I never yelled at the kids like I did in the beginning years of my life, my teaching. And, I, it really, for any teacher out there who's listening, is like, oh, it's maybe on the fence about it, just try it. Like, just try it and really understand that the more you do it, the better it will get. And you will, I mean, look, I'm not going to say will, there's an excellent chance that, that you'll see results because we did.
no, definitely you do.
Yeah.
You have it's a well, it's math. It's mechanical, right? It's
Yeah.
our bodies. Use what you have. It's as if you said, "I'm not going to use my hand."
Yeah.
I have a right hand. I can do things with it, but I choose not to. I don't have a hand. I just have a left hand. I don't have. How crazy would that be? That sounds
Yes.
so absurd, right? So this is the same. You have this. We have it built in. We have intelligent bodies. Our bodies are constantly working for us. We don't realize it. The heart is pumping, blood to all the cells, to all the body parts. The stomach is working, everything's working. We don't know. We're breathing, we don't think about it. And we have the ability to self-regulate, to be at peace, to be centered, and to make good decisions from a good place instead of we know if you're an adult, when you're like you're just operating from a stress. And even sometimes, that I think that's the tricky part, that a lot of times people don't realize that they are operating from that level of disconnect, because
Right.
they're so used to doing it. This is how you overuse your intellect. And I see that a lot. Yeah, I was booked to teach a class yesterday, and I mean, obviously, I don't say anything, but the lady who booked me was really interested. I mean, she was a perfectionist, you can tell. And the way she set everything up, I mean, she uses her intellect to the maximum. Everything was like spell out, just it felt like nothing could go out of place. Everything had to be in a certain way. And a lot of people are like that, and it works. They're very organized. But what happens, life does happen, and
Like,
things sometimes don't.
absolutely.
So if you're not ready for rolling with the punches, when
Yeah.
things,
Just
um
anything could happen. Every day is something different, right? The day might be amazing and then the day might have something unexpected
I
happen.
know.
You've got to
And
deal with
you
it.
see, yeah, for those people who are accustomed to relying on the intellect too much, you see um, a hard fall, and that's very
Right.
painful. But it's so unnecessary. It's a mindset. Relax.
Yeah.
Everything will work out. It's
Okay.
okay. It's not the way you imagine. It's not how you were, you plan it, but it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
this is probably the way it was meant to happen. Right? For reasons unknown to us. That's what I always love about that. I absolutely love everything you're saying, Veronica, and I know that for the teacher listening to us right now, I definitely know that some of them are going to be like, no, I'm going to try this. I'm going to go and do this. And I can't wait for them to find your channel. It's so relevant and important. And before we sign off, I just want to know, are there any other final thoughts? Anything else that you think we missed that you want to share?
no, just encouraging the teachers to acknowledge that they have a lot of power, in the classroom with their kids.
Yeah.
They are so important. The kids spend so many hours with them. And sometimes, like I said, situations at home vary. They can be difficult. And they must know. I mean, what you're doing is pretty incredible. It's pretty magical. So, yeah, I encourage them to remember how special and magical they are and bring these blessings to the kids. Just sit together and breathe together and start the day feeling kind and loving for each other because you're
I
there
love that.
together. Right?
That's amazing. And I just want to say I am so grateful for you and I appreciate your magic and coming on to speak to us today. And you are so special. And I know you're adding just so much value to the teachers and the children out there. And I can't wait to watch your YouTube channel just get stronger and stronger and stronger as teachers discover this. So thank you so, so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you for listening. And here is what I want you to take away from today. You do not need to overhaul your entire day to make this work. You don't need to become an expert. You basically just need to start, and you can start small. One video, one morning, see how it goes, because those 5 minutes, they're not just calming your students, they're actually going to change the feeling of the classroom. They're giving you and your students those tools that you need when things get really chaotic and life basically happens to you. We all underestimate the power of that mindful breathing and the power of the ability to calm our mind down and tackle those difficult things that are going on in our lives. And that's why I brought Veronica on the show. So why not give it a try? Why not check out the 5 minute mindful classroom? Everything's in the show notes. Please, please, please let me know how it goes. And just a final note, just about me, I'm a mindset coach for teachers because honestly, I was in the classroom for 22 years. I know how draining this job is. You are constantly dealing with the stress. Like you're on the verge of burnout. You've got the mountain of work, and all while trying to handle not only the students' behavior, the parents' behavior, but trying to keep your own life actually balanced. Someone like me, a coach, it's like your safe space to talk it all out. And together, we can build up that inner strength just to help you get through the week. But most importantly, one thing I've noticed in my teacher clients is maybe you want to set some clear goals. Like, I mean, maybe you're thinking of leaving the classroom. Maybe you're thinking of, what are the goals that I actually want to set for myself that I want to achieve? Because, yeah, actually, it is kind of all about me right now. My life is important. How I show up in my own life is just as important as how I show up for the kids. So, whatever your next step is, I mean, maybe it's a new career path. Maybe you want to come out of the classroom and do something different. Whatever it is, message me. Let's break it down in a way that feels totally simple and completely doable. Sending you all the love, and I'll see you in the next episode.